share my screen. And I'm going to share my presentation with you so that I can walk you through on a more visual journey. Okay, I hope you all can see it.
Part of it, it's just not full screen.
Yes, I will change it to that.
There we go.
All right. So thanks everyone for joining today. And it's a cold, wintry, sorry, didn't mean to go that fast. Cold, wintry morning in Boston, and Avijit is joining from Calcutta, as we just heard. Little bit of introduction about this painting. This is called Patachitra, and it was a rolling form, a scroll painting that gave the name. And this is not unique to West Bengal. Patachitra exists all over India because we did not have like a canvas or anything, right? So they used fabric, they used other things like palm leaves to make that canvas. And another purpose of rolling this so that it can be transported or carried from one region to another. And the artists back in the days used to take this painting and stories from place to place for different purposes, awareness, social changes, as a mean of earning money, all of that. Even in during pandemic, there were scroll painting that the artists in the villages were using to spread awareness about this disease and the symptoms, etc. But coming back to Kalighat Patachitra, it originated near Kalighat, which is a very famous temple in Calcutta. And as you all might know, Calcutta was a hub of British. So it drew a lot of foreigners, visitors, not only from all over India, but also from all across the world, especially from Britain. So the artist actually saw that as a business opportunity, and they started like a small shops around that temple, and they started painting this type of patachitra, which was like very quick, done by quick strokes, and people can take it with them as a souvenir. Smart, huh? And then what happened, they also started with, god and goddesses, mythological figure, Raman, Mahabharata, all the epic stories. But then they started capturing the social changes, the political scenes, some, really huge murder case, all of those. And that was the turning point which made Kalighat Patachitra be very different from majority of other art forms that existed in India. So rightly so, Kalighat Patachitra is called the first modern art form of India. Then what happened with the freedom movement, all of those things, Calcutta became very tumultuous. So the artist fled, and also when British left India, a lot of the business potential was not there anymore. And with all of those unrest, of course, artists are usually peace seeking people. They went back to their villages and started doing similar art, different art, but Kalighat Patachitra saw a decline because the whole purpose was serving the visitors, the pilgrims who were coming to that temple area and in Calcutta. So there was a period which in which nothing was being done, and then some of the artists today, they are bringing it back again, and Avijit is one of them. There are some artists in Midnapur, they're painting it, but the unique thing about Avijit is he's a direct student of a very famous, eminent Kalighat Patachitra artist, and we are so glad that he is here today to teach us. I am going to, I don't know why this is stuck. Can you, okay. So I'm going to just show one thing here, just as an example. This is not done by Avijit, but this is a very famous painting of Durga, because a lot of Indian painting, it focuses on women empowerment, and we have a lot of goddesses, and also not to mention we had a lot of women leaders in India. So, but this is an iconic painting of goddess Durga. This is the painting that Avijit will teach us today. I am not going to spend too much time, but just a pointer. Uh, Two terms, Babu and Bibi, was coined to refer to Babu is the gentleman, Bibi is the lady. And there are a lot of paintings in Kalighat style which revolves around Babu and Bibi. They represent the common people, everyday life. They represent extramarital affairs. They represent a lot of hilarious things, like a Babu is he's just listened to his wife. All of those caricatures are also portrayed. In this case, Bibi, the lady, is spending some time and just some me time combing her very long beautiful hair. She's wearing a sari, which is again the main attire of that part of India. And today our artist, sorry, I have a typo here, he's not from Naya Midnapur, he is from Calcutta, but he's a direct student of Srish Chitrakar, who was one of the eminent artists, and he passed away a few years ago. I will show a picture of him, further down. Avijit has been painting for several years. He teaches regular art classes and workshops, but he's also a teacher by profession. So you can see that he took teaching and doing it in many avenues of academics and art. Also, for Kalighat painting, there are certain other things that I like. It's 100% natural um, dye that are being used, no fancy packing. Usually old newspapers are used for packing, recycling, um, and a lot of times the artists who are living in the village, they use hardened coconut shell as their palette. So you can see that all the way, no plastic, nothing, anything that is available around us are used. But of course that's sometimes hard for someone who is living in the middle of a city. So things evolve, but generally flowers are used, and Avijit is going to show us the natural colors that he uses in his painting. So blue, red, yellow, orange, green, pink, all of those comes from um, different flora and plant material. The adhesive is used from bell fruit, but Abhijit uses a different adhesive, and again that also tells you the variety of natural resources that is available to us. For white, calcium carbonate is used, but also rice powder. Sometimes the soil from crabs nest. So all of those interesting facts makes it very, very intriguing. Here, I'm just going to show you one thing just to show how the tradition of Indian art flows. And that is why we do not have a lot of things documented. And that's probably put us a little behind in a uh, global place. And that is why Kalighat painting is so unknown. Only a few copies exist around the world. Some are in British Museum, some are in Cleveland Museum, but also if you're really interested, go to Peabody Essex Museum, and they have quite a few outstanding Kalighat painting, which was donated from personal collection. Um, a Guru Shishya Parampara, and that's a Sanskrit word, so a teacher-student tradition. The way Avijit learned from Srish Chitrakar is just watching him paint, sitting there for hours and watching him paint and learning his technique by talking to him, discussing, etc. So that's how Indian trainings, often goes. Um, and for Avijit particularly, I asked him this question, like, what inspired you about this particular art form? And he said, two things. One is symbolism. So symbolism of rich Bengali culture was, a cat eating a lobster. Of course, people cannot afford lobster, but when a cat is eating lobster, that represented a very wealthy household which was representing the Neo-European cluster of Bengali people who was English speaking, and they worked for the British government, so they earned, higher wages. And then another he mentioned was the Elokeshi murder, which was a big murder case, real story, took the media by storm. And the unique part is the Babu, who was a clerk of in a government office, a British office. Even though he murdered his wife, he was let go. So that created a lot of social, uproar. And those were the type of things that was portrayed by Kalighat painting. Shows, very um, contemporary thought process of those artists. I'm going to stop here. Thank you all. I'm going to let Avijit take the rein and go from here so that you can see how he unfolds a BB painting in front of us. So.
Hello everyone. I thank to the organizer for giving me this opportunity uh, to imbibe this cultural heritage to you. So let me first show the type or show the process of sketching in front of you.
Just a reminder to all our attendees, can you all also pin Abhijit to your screen, just so that you can see him being the largest one there. And Athena is also going to pin him so that the recording captures it that way. Thank you.
Thank you. Kalighat painting starts from the face drawing, face. It is coming from the photography. So the entire concentration is given on the face. So let me to draw the face first. So this is the drawing. The drawing is done very quickly because there were a lot of paintings to do in at that time, and this tradition is continuing. Now I have previously drawn another picture in the paper. Here it is. Perhaps you can see. I am going to show the technique of colors now. Here I have some dust. This is taken from some stones, and this yellow ochre color is obtained from this particular stone dust. And there is a media which is simply made up of khori mati, we say it khori mati, and water with a glue with it. I have used Fevicol, simple Fevicol, and I'm taking this into this, mixing it properly, and I will start coloring the background first. You can change the density according to your need. Now I have this color. I'm going to cover the entire background first. One has to remember that the background must be even. The colors must be evenly distributed. No shadings should come. And we have to give layer after layer. This single layer is not enough. To make it properly evenly distributed, I have to make many layers, but it needs more time. So for this session, I am just covering it with a single layer. One thing I must show, Kalighat painting is done within a margin. So whenever you draw, you just give a margin to the entire area. No space should be kept white. So this is for background. I am mixing some white color with it to make it the skin color. From lime, this white is obtained. By mixing this color with it, I am getting the skin color of the lady. Here you can see, I will start from the face first. If the black portion, that is the hair, comes in contact with this color, don't worry, we can use black for it. When we use the black, we can cover the distracted color. whenever I am giving this first tone, I am not using any shades, but after that I will show you the shading is done. So this is just flat coloration, even coloration. I must cover it evenly. So the color of the body is okay. Now I have to color the dress, the sari. I am using the same color, the remaining color, just mixing it with very small amount of black. This black is obtained from soot. This is not enough because this has become darker. So I have to mix white with it, lime, mixing lime again with it. In this way, I'm getting the proper color for the sari. Actually, this woman, this lady is a widow. In Bengal, there is a tradition, actually in India, the widow used to wear white saris. So she is doing her shringar. So this is actually not permissible at that society. Shringar means to decorate herself. Now I'm giving this color. So in this way, the entire area I covered evenly. Okay, now I'm going to show you the shadings. So for shadings, I am going to, you can see there is a red, Indian red. With it, I'm mixing small amount of yellow, this dust. This is for dark coloration. And this is for dark tone. And I have another brush in my hand. This brush is used to, this brush is used for the light coloration. So I have two brush, one with color, another one with water. Now you can see one side, you just give the color in this way. Now I have to mix it with water. This way the shades will come. Here also. Okay. Now coming to the face. For face, we use shady areas like this, here and here, here, and this side. You have to maintain the light and shade from all the different sides in the different parts of the body in the similar way. I have used this part light and this part for darkness.
This also gives the painting a three-dimensional look, like you said, right? Like
Yes.
photography, which is again another unique feature of Kalighat painting, and it wasn't like that in other traditional painting that we have.
Okay. Now, uh, I will come to the finishing process. So I have to use black. The black color is used at last. So I always mix the new color with the previous color so that the homogeneity of the distribution of the color is maintained in the painting. My guru has taught this technique, and I'm taking some black color, which is obtained from soot, I told. Okay. Now the black shades for sari. This part was whitish, so I'm using this for shading the sari. You can see. In the similar way, I'm taking the water in this brush. Now the last part, that is lining. Lining is very important because this will help you to give the vibrant expression of the painting. For lining the hand and other parts, I'm using this reddish brown color. I don't know whether this painting is completely dried or not, but I'm trying. Here it comes out. And you have to line the border line in one stroke. Take the breath in and stroke it. Now taking the gray for ornamentations. Here some bangles. And this particular ornament is the signature of Kalighat pot. This one. Actually, this is done, this thing is present in the idol, Durga idol and other idol, which are worshipped. And from this tradition, the common people are also given this type of ornamentation. You just cross it and some points in this way. Now the other areas I have to cover. I have to give the lining. At her throat. You can cover if there is any white left with your steady lines. Here the comb. These things are not drawn. Actually, this is done directly by colors. Now, the eyes and all. You can see the middle area of the eyebrow must be broad and the two end will be tapering, pointed. Every line has this particular feature. You can see you must wear some earrings. So this is your painting. So I can show you the painting which I was previously drawn. This one. Here it is. You can see in the finished version in this way. So this is the entire thing with all linings outside and all ornamentations, etc. So that's it, Swati di. If anybody has any question, you can ask me.
Thank you very much. And you are so on time. I am impressed.
Thank you.
I don't always get a chance to, give enough time for people to ask questions, but I'm inviting all our participants today to please, you can unmute yourself. And I think you can also come in the camera if you wish to and ask questions directly, and I'll be happy to moderate if needed. And also, I really wanted to thank Athena and Netic Center of Cultural District for making this happen and supporting bringing the global art perspective in a place like Boston, because we do have a very multicultural fabric of our society here. So really glad to be able to collaborate.
Thank you so much.
Could you say
Avijit.
a little bit about the way you prepare your paints, please?
So
Sorry?
she's asking how you prepare your paint. So are you using only water, or are you using some kind of adhesive, some gum? Because I know that's, different artists do it differently. So একটু বলো ওটা।
I have shown all the details in my video. You can see the videos later on. But now I can say you, we have some sort of dust which is called as khorimati. And this dust is actually white dust that is made up of probably calcium carbonate, CaCO3. Probably. I am not very confident. And this dust is mixed with water and some glue is added. We used to make some shirish atha that is called as some glue which is obtained from a plant. And these materials are not available, but nowadays for contemporary drawing you can use Fevicol. Because I take many workshops where I use Fevicols to make it to make the media for using color. Each color is mixed with that particular media, Fevicol, and the dust. Then I use it in my painting.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Thank you.
And what it does two things, right? Sometimes if you are getting the color from a plant or a leaf juice, then it gets oxidized and it will look like black after a few minutes or after a couple of hours, unless you use a fixative. So what happens is once you add these type of gum, either natural or store-bought, it actually fixes the color. Even actually here in Amazon, if you want, you can buy natural glue, which many of the workshop participants, in other workshops, they told me, and I think some of them has given it a try. So there is a question. I was wondering how old was he when he started to paint? তোমার কোন বয়সে শুরু করেছো?
When I first visited Mr. Srish Chitrakar, my guru, I was in class 8. And my school was near his studio. My school was situated near his studio, so I used to go to his studio for my personal attraction. So I have started painting from the very I can't remember when I have started. I used to start in 3 to 4 years maybe.
And you also traveled around India and
Yeah.
learning
Yeah.
different art forms, right? So he
Exactly.
can do a lot more different art forms. And he actually visited those places, learned from, people who have been doing it for generations. There is a question, if
Yeah.
one were to paint on palm leaves, what special treatment must one adopt in terms of the type of paint to use, an additional ground medium or binder should be used? So Avijit, do you want to take that, or I can say whatever I know from Odisha Patachitra? I think palm leaf is mainly used in Odisha Patachitra, right?
Palm leaf is a kind of engraving painting. Actually,
Yes.
on the leaf, the the pen is used, and this makes a engraved feature. After that, the suit is done over it. Suit is applied over it, so that the remaining color, it takes the color, black color, so lining is done in that way. There is no particular color is used, but if it is not available, you can use some acrylic colors on palm leaf that will stick on it.
Yeah. Even as a kid, I used a rubber plant leaf, which is very hard, and once dried, it's very sturdy. And you can use any kind of fabric color. I think also acrylic can be used. But yes, thank you for explaining the engraving, which is done. Another question is, yes. So Avijit, some of them are saying they love to draw, but they cannot do the freehand sketch. Is it possible for you to send us a template, which we can share with all the attendees? I'll send it to Athena, just the outline, and then they can use that and they do the coloring uh, on that.
Sure.
Okay.
I will
So
send
yes.
the drawing. Okay.
Yeah, so he can send the drawing and I'll send it to Athena. And any other questions from anyone? And I just wanted to mention, I know that, again, we don't always get a good resource or a place to go and ask questions. I live in Boston. I have a page, Artsy Way of Life, and Athena can share my details. My email address is on the presentation that will be shared with you. So if you have any follow-up question about this art or other Indian art form, just let me know. I try to talk to the artist, try to get hold of the artist. I do face language barrier because, again, I don't know a lot of languages that are being practiced in India, but I try my best to find artists, talk to them, and bring them on this platform or through Artsy Way of Life or through other libraries, whoever supports us, to make that connection. So I'm the catalyst. If you have any other follow-up questions, please let me know. And Avijit has a Facebook page. Do you have a separate painting page, or is it like one page you use? So, if you do any other workshop that people can join virtually, let me know, and I can post that on my page for broader attention. So
No, I don't have any separate page. My Facebook page is one. It is
okay.
Avijit Majumder, and I do workshops throughout the year. Now I am preparing this thing, that is Kerala mural, for my next workshop. So I'm busy with all these things together, but I'm happy to give my knowledge to others.
That's awesome. Spoken like a true teacher. He also is a teacher in a government school, and I think you are doing a great job, spreading the knowledge that you gain.
Sure.
Are there any other questions from anyone? I see some Bengali names who I'm assuming they're Bengali from the name. So if you have any specific question in relation to Calcutta, or just want to share, what made you
আমি
join
দেখেছি
this workshop?
দেবলীনা জয়েন করেছে, দেবলীনা সাই বাসু, ও নরওয়ে থেকে আছে, ও আমার আগের ওয়ার্কশপে করেছে।
Oh, so he's from your network. That's awesome, Athena. Look, that's just awesome. That is fantastic. So glad to make this connection. So I think I'm going to ask Athena. So what do you think, Athena? Do we close it, or how do we, or should we give a little more time?
I think that's good. I'm actually going to formally stop recording for a minute.